And hello, everyone. Welcome again to Train Up a Child 2023, day 2, session 5. So, this is our very last session, and we have our speaker already in the house. It's been bumper to bumper, an amazing experience learning, relearning, and unlearning. We started with Madam Modupe a hearing, and we went over to Priscilla Canis Obi. Then we continued with Dofan Hikia, and we just finished Abibo Berepele. It's been an amazing one so far. And right now we have our, our food nutritionist in the house, food recipe coach, Miss Opeyemi Aderito. So we're just going to quickly introduce her. So she's a food recipe coach and a culinary business consultant. That was a mouthful. And she helps culinary business owners and home cooks create delicious and healthy recipes for their clients and their families. And this amazing woman also teaches children, because my child attended her kids class and it was amazing. It's amazing what children can begin to do in the kitchen. So today she's going to be talking to us on how we can make transgenerational health in our families, how we can have transgenerational health in our families. All right, the floor is for you now, Ma. Thank you
Thank you so
again
much.
for coming.
Thank you so much, Z. You are doing an amazing job. I must say that this is not something small to pull. Of course, now we are in this business, online business together, and trust me when I say that I can imagine the stress you have gone through within this period. You are doing amazing. Well done. I've been following the session since yesterday, and I must say that this is a place that every parent, every intentional parent, every parent who wants to become a parent of value should be. You are doing amazing. Well done, well done. And to everyone who has, stuck through, who has attended all the session, you are an intentional parent. That's the truth. A lot of people do not take stuff like this seriously, right? If it were 51 ways to make quick money, you will see how filled up this whole place would be. You will see the numbers, right? Very, very high. But a lot of people do not take such things seriously when it comes to, children, family. They hold such things with levity. So if you have been following since yesterday, you are definitely, this is proof that you are an intentional parent, and I pray that your labors of love for your children will not be in vain. So welcome to this session. This is the last session. I'm going to try as much as possible to keep this very, very short. Z has introduced me. My name is Opeyemi Aderito. I am a food recipe coach and a culinary business consultant. I help home cooks and food business owners to create healthy, delicious food recipes for their family members and for their clients. And just last year summer, which was in August last year, we launched the very first cohort of my online culinary school for preteens. I've been running an online culinary school, right? But I never had preteens and teenagers in my online culinary school. So for the very first time last year, we had the first batch of preteens and teenagers from 9 years old above, and it was amazing. I'm going to be talking about that much later, but let's just delve into what I have to say today. And the truth is, this topic I'm going to be speaking on today is not something you have probably heard somewhere before, right? Because somehow, people do not place emphasis on what I am going to be talking about today. As a matter of fact, when you talk about when you start seeing a topic that starts with creating transgenerational, what you expect to see is creating transgenerational wealth. Hey, creating transgenerational wealth, right? Yes, creating transgenerational wealth. And then people go about, saying, listing all the things that, are wealth to them, but they leave out health, forgetting that health is actually wealth. So if before we go deep in, please, I would urge you to go to the WhatsApp group, Ginger Parents to Come Out. Go there, put the fire emoji, tell them it is hot in here, ginger them. You don't want to go home alone with the value I am going to be sharing tonight. This is the last session. I'm going to keep it as short as possible, but trust me, it is going to be very powerful. Like I said, the topic I'm going to be talking about is not something very common. And when Z invited me, I was like, oh wow, this is someone who actually, she really wants this conference to be like balanced diet. She wants it to be balanced in every area. So, and she brought me in, and I'm really grateful. Thank you so much, Z, for giving me this opportunity to speak to your audience. Thank you so very much. So I am going to be talking on the topic. I'm going to be speaking on the topic, creating transgenerational health, not wealth. Please go to the WhatsApp group and invite others. They need to be out here. Creating transgenerational health. Now, what is transgeneration? Transgeneration means something that exists and is passed down from one generation to another. That is what transgeneration means. It means that it is something that is handed down from one generation to another. And I am going to be taking my text from a passage of the scripture, right? Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 7. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 7, where God was telling Moses, he said, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk to them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. So this is God telling Moses to tell the children of Israel how to pass on his instructions from one generation to another. So passing down, principles, passing down values, passing down whatever it is you call it, from one generation to the other is actually biblical. It is God's standard, right? So we're going to be looking at creating transgenerational health. And I have defined what transgeneration is. Passing down something that exists from one generation to another. It could be principles, it could be a way of life, it could be culture, what have you. Now, what is health? What is health? Please, another thing I like is when I am teaching, if something is hitting you, like if I am dropping gems, I need you to type in the comment section. I want to be sure that I am actually interacting with people and I am not talking to myself. I want to be sure that there are people who are watching me. So Z, please, from time to time, I know that I might not be able to see the comments of people, but from time to time, please kindly help me put it up so that it can, I can see and I can be sure that I'm actually engaging with people. Okay, so what is health? Health is a state of being. It's a state of being in good physical, mental condition. It goes beyond physical and mental. It could be spiritual, emotional, whatever you have, name it. But health is being in a state of good condition. It's being in good condition. That is what health is. So I'm going to be talking about health. Let's start from there. Now we have defined what health is, and I'm going to be looking at some components. I'm going to be looking at hygiene, I'm going to be looking at sleeping habits, I'm going to be looking at exercising, I'm going to be looking at food, right? I have broken this health. I've broken health into these components: exercising, hygiene, health, sleeping habits, and food. I watched Priscilla's session earlier today, and it was like, she saw my notes, and like she lifted some things from my notes, right? So let's talk about exercising. Now, these components that I listed are tied to health and well-being, being in good condition. One of the things that can help us be in good condition is exercising, right? Exercising. As parents, I know that probably not a lot of parents, but some parents go to gym, they exercise in their houses and all of that. Now, let's talk about the children. Exercising for our children. How many of us, allow our children exercise? Now, I'm not talking about, letting them go to the gym and all of that, but exercise could take the form of walks. Now, we are in an era where, children hardly take walks. How many of us allow our children to take a walk? Their school is not far away from home, yet you drive them to school. So we are in an age where, many children are living a sedentary life. Many children are living a sedentary life. They are not yet adults, right? When we were young, if I tell you where we used to trek, the distance from our home to, our school and back, sometimes my dad will pick us up, sometimes he will not pick us up. I'm not saying that, parents should, start, replicating that kind of lifestyle right now, but I'm trying to say that many times we ignore the aspect of exercising for our children. So how often do our children take walks? How often do we allow them to walk, to trek? Your church is not far from your house, yet you must drive to church. Do we allow these children break some sweat? Right? So do they take walks? Sometimes you could, and this I'm not just talking about toddlers, or I'm talking about our children, preteens, children, teenagers, right? Sometimes just drop them like some distance before school and allow them walk. Let them take a walk. They will not die. They will not die. It's a form of exercising for them. Now, aside from taking walks, how about house chores? We're in an era where, an era of house help and all of that. Now, exercising, like I said, does not necessarily mean that they must go to the gym, but what activities do they involve or engage in that allows them to break some sweat? House chores. Do we allow our children sweep? You might think that, oh no, it's no. When I have a house help, why should my children sweep? Why should they engage in house chores? Well, you're actually helping them to move their bodies. Look at it like you are helping them to move their bodies. The earlier they start walking, yes, the better. The earlier they start walking, they are too young to start living a sedentary life. Okay, for those of us who work from home, we know how these things are. Sometimes you just know your body is not just giving you, that good vibe. Because you have been sitting down on one spot in front of your computer, pressing your computer, trying to work, make money, we understand. But you can tell that sedentary lifestyle is not it. Now, imagine a child starting to live that sedentary lifestyle from an individual starting to live that sedentary lifestyle from childhood. So do they take walks? Do they engage in house chores, outdoor plays? When we were growing up, there were so many ways to burn calories as children. We would run to our neighbors' houses, play football, play tente, play suwe. I don't know what you guys call it in your own area while you were growing up as parents. We would sweat. We would play football. Yes, we play football. We engage in activities that helped us to move our body. Personally, I was the tree climber. There was no tree I did not used to climb while I was growing up. mango tree, cashew tree. We were strong, right? We were strong. Our parents might be scared, or we're scared sort of, but they still allowed us to engage in all those activities. So, do we allow our children exercise by taking walks? Do we allow them exercise by engaging in house chores, standing to wash plates, bending to sweep, clean the floor, wash the toilet, wash their bathroom? Do we do all of that? Outdoor plays. Z say I look it, climber. Yes, I was a climber. I climbed the roof, I used to climb. My sisters would beg me to help them climb, pluck mangoes and all of that, right? We used to play outdoor plays. There were so many of them. So many of them that we used to engage in. But you see, nowadays, children will just sit indoors in front of the screen, watch television from morning till night, because we do not want them to disturb. They are not moving. We hardly allow them to go to their neighbor's place, to play. Of course, I understand to an extent. But sometimes allow these children go out, let them play. It is good for their health. Number two, let's talk about hygiene. Parents, how are you instilling hygiene in your children? How do you instill the importance? Now you are a parent, because you are not a 9-to-5 worker. Your children see you, you don't take your bath in the morning because you are not going anywhere. You are looking, unkept, walking up and down in the house. The truth is, we mirror a lot of things to these children. So now, like I said, health is not only, it is encompassing. It is encompassing. How do you look at home? How do you appear? What does your environment look like? What does your house look like? Do you make your children clear up their mess when they finish eating? Or because you have a house help, or you just feel like, oh, they will not do it well, let me do it. I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old. As I speak to you right now, they know that once they are done eating on their table, they are to pick up every single mess, clean the table, take their plate to the sink. They know that. My son is 6. He sweeps. I tell him, he wakes up, he has his morning routine, especially this period where they're on holidays. Wake up in the morning. After waking up in the morning, say your prayer, read your Bible. Once you're done reading your Bible, you take care of the parlor. That is his duty. He's just 6, so he sweeps, and he sweeps it well. When my son sweeps the sitting room, I don't have to sweep it again. Even if I have to sweep it, and then he goes there, Mommy, why are you sweeping? Did I not sweep it well? You swept it very well. I just wanted to put some perfect touch. You did very well. Or sometimes I just leave it intentionally, and I'm like, oh wow, fantastic. And the truth is, he has greatly improved. My son sweeps the sitting room right now, and I am comfortable with it. But it's been a journey. So do you allow them to clear up their mess? Do you allow them to clear up their mess? They play in their room, toys are scattered everywhere. Do you make sure that they clear it, they pick it up, they put it back in their basket or in their toy bags or whatever it is? Do you ensure that? Or you just allow the children, see us like you are dirty, you don't care, you don't care about, the hygiene in the house. You don't even care about their hair. You don't care about their school uniform, what they look like when they are going to school. And then gradually, you might not even say a word, but you're making them feel comfortable with dirt or dirtiness. You don't need to say anything. You're making them feel comfortable. Do you ensure they flush the toilet after pooing? See, I recently realized something, that sometimes, you will see guys get married, people get married, and then their spouse begin to complain about, he doesn't remember to flush the toilet. He doesn't ever remember to flush the toilet. He messes up the this, she does this, she does that. And I realized, some time ago that, when my son or my daughter goes to the toilet, once they're done pooing, and they say, Mommy, I'm done, and then I go there to help them clean up. I realized that most times once I'm done cleaning them up, I flush the toilet and then I just put soap on their hands and I tell them wash your hands, and then they wash and they leave. But one day it just dawned on me that, see, this thing you are doing, you don't know that you are unintentionally teaching this child how not to flush the toilet. So what did I start doing? Every single time they poo, I make sure that they are the ones. Sometimes I've even forgotten, I just want to quickly, flush, and I just remember, oh yeah, flush the toilet. I make sure that every time they use the toilet, not only when they poo, when they wee, they flush the toilet, they know how to wee properly, not to wee on the toilet seat. These things, you don't need to break their head and put it inside and say, no, this is how we live in this. Now, these are the rules of this house. Do it like this. No, they are watching. Silently, softly, you are passing something to them. So, hygiene. As parents, what are you mirroring to your children when it comes to hygiene? Is your kitchen always dirty? Is your kitchen always dirty? Is your toilet, your bathroom always dirty? Children of nowadays, they will tell you, oh, mommy, this place looks yucky. Disgusting. My 4-year-old daughter, if she sees something that is not appealing, she will just go, disgusting. So how are you mirroring hygiene to these children? Are you helping them see the importance, even without saying a word? Their dirty clothes, how many times do you make them wear their clothes? Now let's go on to sleeping habits. Sleeping habit, like I said, this health thing is encompassing. One has to be in good condition mentally, one has to be in good condition physically, good condition emotionally, and all of that. Sleeping habits. Do they have specific time for going to bed? Do they have specific time for going to bed? Now, one thing I have noticed about my children is this. They would kick. My daughter is, I don't know, maybe to call her a night crawler. As if when it is night, that's when she becomes more energetic. When you now say go to bed, she's like, oh, mommy, I don't want to sleep. I'm not ready to sleep. It is time to go to bed. So sometimes she gives excuses like, oh, mommy, I can't sleep. She would have gone to bed sometimes. She will come back to meet me and say, oh, mommy, I can't sleep. Or she'll come back and tell her dad, oh, daddy, I can't sleep. And we tell her, don't worry, you don't have to sleep immediately. Just go to the bed, lie down, and be thinking about what you read in the morning in the Bible, or sing a song, or think about the love of Jesus, or think about, something you learned during the day. So they do not even have to sleep immediately, but they also have to learn meditation. So sometimes I take them to bed, and even though probably they slept in the daytime, and then they're not sleeping, and I feel like, oh, mommy, I'm not sleeping yet. Yes, you don't have to be sleeping, but this is bedtime. Go to bed, and while you are still in bed, or before you fall asleep, start thinking about what we read in the Bible today, or the book we read, or the story your daddy told you while we were, during the family altar, before you went to bed. Think about it, meditate on it, think about the love of Jesus, think about Jesus, think about him hugging you. Like, I just tell them these things. So sleeping habits, when do they go to bed? When do we also go to bed? Remember, we mirror these things to them as parents. Let me run, my time is going. So they can meditate. If they cannot sleep, they can start learning how to meditate as children. It is good for their mind. It is good for their, their brain. They should meditate, think about the things that happened during the day. Now, the third component of health I will be talking about is food. And now this is my area of expertise. I'm going to be talking about food. Priscilla said a lot in the afternoon, right? She said a lot. I'm also going to be talking about food. Now, Proverbs chapter 13, verse 22 says that a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Transgenerational, right? Leaves an inheritance. But you see, something about this scripture is this. When many people talk about this scripture, what their mind, many times when we hear this scripture, it usually comes up, probably in a wealth seminar. People are talking about how to make money. People are talking about, how parents can, keep something for their children to inherit, keep an inheritance for their children. And many times they talk about houses, they talk about investment, they talk about property, landed property, talk about cash, cars, and all of that. But many people do not realize that food should be one of the things a father, a parent should leave. I mean, should be one of the wealth or inheritance that parents should leave for their children. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Food, good food is very important. Now, if you read some stories, if you read the history of some countries, I mean, not history of some countries, no, or some families in different countries, you hear stuff like, oh, this recipe was from my, or if you watch some of all these food shows and all of that, oh, this recipe was from my grandma or from my mom, and all of this and all of this. Some people have understood that, you should be intentional about passing healthy foods to your children. Now, under food, I am going to talk about cultural connection. I am going to talk about recipes. I am going to talk about food appreciation, and I am going to talk about food preparation. Now, food should be one of the things that we consider that we can leave for our children. In this era where junk food is the order of the day, in this age where fast food is the order of the day, right? It's not hard. I could just place a call and, I want egusi, I want this, I want this. Those of us who are in the food industry, we understand some things that goes on in some kitchens. It takes food vendors with the fear of God to actually prepare healthy dishes. When I say healthy dishes now for their clients, to not cut corners. If you know the things some people do to their dishes just for it to taste sweet, you will be shocked. And by the time your family consumes that same dish from, months upon months, and years down the line, you are hearing cases of diabetes, you are hearing cases of high blood pressure in young children. You are hearing cases of stroke. You are hearing different kinds of heart diseases in young people. Parents are busy, yes. But we should understand that food has cultural connection. Let's talk about the cultural connection of food. I say it in my classes or in my content that I put out, right? Most, or if not all, Nigerian dishes. Let's talk about Nigeria. This is where we are. And if you are not watching me from Nigeria, probably you are not from Nigeria, wherever you are watching me from. Most dishes, or every dish of a nation, has a has an origin. Should we talk about the Oha soup of this world? We know that it is, we know the origin, the tribe where it originates from. Should we talk about Edikaikong? Should we talk about Begiri? When you visit an individual and then the person presents you with tuwo, shinkafa, and miyan kuka, you don't even need anybody to tell you that this person is Hausa. Because there's a cultural connection that food has. You cannot talk about culture and separate food from it. The food of a people is also part of the culture of that people. A food or a dish can say something about the culture of an individual. So talking about food, cultural connection, let our children know their origin. Let them know the origin of the dishes that we prepare for them. It might not even be your tradition, your local delicacy. It might be a delicacy for someone like me. My dad is from Ondo State. My dad is Yoruba. My mom is Akwa Ibom. And while growing up, we hardly even ate Yoruba dishes in our house. Like I say, the first time I ate gbegiri, like I learned how to cook gbegiri, and I ate gbegiri actually, right, was in my husband's family house. So because my mom is Akwa Ibom, most times we ate, the vegetables from, the south, Edikaikong, Atama, Afang, white soup, those hard dishes. Most of the time, that was what we ate. I never ate ewedu while I was growing up. Right now, I love ewedu, I love gbegiri, I love amala, right? But the point I'm trying to make here is this: we cannot separate culture from food. Even if you are, I mean, living anywhere in any part of the world, right? Let our children, let your children know their origin. Tell them about their dishes. Let them know their origin and foods from their roots. It might not be food from their roots. Personally, I cook soups from Yoruba origin. I cook soups from Akwa Ibom. I cook soups from Igbo. Fine, I'm in the food industry. I cook soup from Edo State. I cook, different kinds of soups, right? And when my children come to me and they ask, or I'm trying to tell them, oh, this is groundnut soup, for example. This is bitter leaf soup, for example. It is Nigerian. In fact, one day I think I prepared gbegiri. And you know the way gbegiri can be. If you are someone, if you have never tasted gbegiri before, to know that gbegiri is actually very delicious. Once you see the face of gbegiri, it's just that watery, yellow looking something, right? And I presented it to my children and they're like, oh, mommy, what's this? Like, mommy, what's this? I'm like, come, you're from Oyo State. This is people's delicacy in your father's village. So, this is called gbegiri and ewedu and amala. I remember one day I made amala for my children. I mean, for dinner, for the family, for dinner. We were to eat amala and afang soup that day. I can mix those things like that and they taste nice, amala and afang soup. And then I noticed that my daughter was not eating. I left them on their table. I quickly went into the kitchen to finish up what I was doing. I noticed that my daughter was not eating when I got back. And I'm like, why are you not eating? And she's like, it's black and I'm yellow. I'm yellow and the food is black. I don't like it. I'm like, my dear, that is amala. You are a Yoruba girl from Oyo State. And this is... Z, you are laughing. This is your local delicacy. This is sweet. It is delicious, right? They eat amala conveniently today. They eat gbegiri. They eat groundnut soup. And the thing is, with our dishes, you realize that there's a lot of health benefits within our dishes. In our local, yes, color matching food, exactly. Black, yes, black and yellow for amala and gbegiri. And she was telling me, mommy, I'm yellow. I'm not black. The food is black. I'm yellow. I'm like, excuse me, yellow. Please eat. But today they eat amala. They know amala. They eat amala with any soup I serve them. So the point I'm trying to make is I have to educate them. See, this is your local delicacy. You are from Oyo State. They know they are from Oyo State. You are from Oyo State. This is your local delicacy. It is sumptuous. It is healthy. Beans is good for your body. Amala is good for you. I just tell them these things. That is how we should do. We should let our children know foods from their origin. It is not about the name they bear. Oh, you are Yoruba, your name is Aderito, and that is all. Food. They go to their villages, good. Food. Somebody says her daughter calls okra soup sticky soup. Soups, foods. They should know these foods from their origin and we should let them eat it. Now, let me quickly hurry and go to the next point, which is food appreciation. See, taste is acquired. The truth is we are the ones as parents who actually shape the taste buds, or what's the word now? We train the taste buds of our children by what we give them. So we should help them appreciate food, good food. Our children should get to the point, or your children should get to the point where they are to make a choice between healthy food and junk food, and they will go for healthy food. Good, we give kudos to teachers of our children in school, right? My son, for example, will tell his sister, no, that is junk food. That is junk food. They know the difference between junk food and healthy food. They teach them all of those in school. Good, that is head knowledge. But let us help them practicalize it at home. What do we stuff our houses with? What is in your refrigerator? Do we have fruits in your refrigerator? Do you have vegetables? I love what Priscilla said today. She said every single day in their house, they eat one fruit or, and one vegetable. Vegetable soup is like, we eat it like very different assorted. I can do it. It is my fault. So, I cook it every time. And then at some point, I also told myself, no, we cannot be eating just white rice and stew. When we eat white rice and stew, let's add vegetables to it. So what are you stocking your house with? What kind of snacks? There are healthy local snacks. Nice snacks that have, good staple food bases. We train our children's taste bud. Are you training your children's taste bud to appreciate junk food over healthy food, or you're training them to appreciate healthy food over junk food, such that when they are out there and they are faced with, options, they would rather go for good food. Food rich in vegetables, rich in nuts, rich in white meat and all of that, instead of going for chocolate or going for all these sweet medes. We are to mirror these things to them. What do you as a parent eat? What do you eat? Do you prepare homemade meals for them? Do you prepare homemade meals for them? Or it's every time, let's order burger, let's order pizza. There's nothing wrong with these things. You can give them a treat sometimes, but don't let it be such that it is what they are now, their taste buds are now trained. I am training my children not to use sugar in everything that they eat. Cornflakes, you are eating cereal, we are not adding sugar. One of my children likes, my daughter she likes sweet things. My son is such that you can even give him something, and then if it's too sweet, he'll tell you, I'm not eating. It's too sugary. He will tell you it's too sweet. I can begin to list a lot of sweet things my son does not eat. He's not gonna eat it. My daughter is tending towards the sweet, and then I am intentionally refusing. So she's eating cereal, no sugar. She's taking pap, no sugar. Right? We need to cut these things. Yes, we need to cut these things off. Let them have, if there are so many fruits that we can juice and they will still enjoy. Then Priscilla said a lot of that. I do not want to go into all of that. Pineapples, grapes, they are good, they are healthy. Apples, fruits. And she said something very important that I always like to hammer on. Leverage fruits in season. I'm a mango lover. Mango is my favorite fruit, right? So you see this period of mango, I have told myself I am going to eat mango, for that would be able to carry me for the next mango season. And every time I buy the mango, I give them at home because they enjoy eating it. So what do you stuff your refrigerator with? What do you stuff your home with? What kind of snacks? Is it chocolate every time? You see some children very obese. Is that, I don't know, you are actually harming that child. When I was preparing for this class, I remembered someone in my childhood. I'm not mocking the mom now, but I remember someone in my childhood. She had 2 children. In fact, her second child was my classmate in secondary school. And it took a while. She wanted a girl child. She really wanted a girl child. And then it took a while. I think that boy her second child was in secondary school when she had junior secondary school when she had a girl. And it was good. Actually, she had a girl, beautiful. But guess what? Exactly. Train up a child in a way she go when he's old, he will not depart from it. Guess what? This girl, everything she wants to eat, anything is passing. Mommy, I want this. Mommy, I want this. She was so obese. And that obesity led to diabetes. It ended in a sad way because she lost that child. That girl was in primary school when that girl died. because it became so bad that, they could not help that girl again, because she was always eating one sweet thing to the other, one sweet thing, one junk to the other. She was very big. And then it led, at that tender age, she had diabetes, and it led to other heart diseases, and they lost her. This is a child that someone prayed to God to give. I wanted a girl child, and God gave you that child. And see, because the truth is, it is not love. I don't see it as love. If we sit back and think about these things, right? It is actually love when you are restraining them from some of these things. You are training their taste buds. Train up a child in the way he should go. When he is old, he will not depart from it. Today, the dishes that I prepare in my home are dishes that I saw my mom preparing. Foods that I cooked. I got married to I'm married to a Yoruba man who was not familiar with all these dishes, but somehow God helped me to introduce it. Today, he enjoys it with the children. We enjoy, and that's not all. I do not restrain myself or box myself to, what my mom prepares, or prepared or taught us. I learn other foods. I go out, I eat from in places. I'm like, oh, how did you prepare this? This tastes nice. What did you use to prepare it? So long as it is healthy, I am bringing it to my family. It is healthy, it is delicious. I am bringing it to my family. So, food appreciation. Taste is acquired. We are the ones that actually train the taste buds of our children from tender age. The child is crying. Before you know, you have put chocolate in their hand. Before you know, sweet. Before you know, no, that is not love. In quotes, if we look at it, I know it is coming from a place of love, but in the long run, let's look at the effect that this would have on the children. Now, let's talk about, I just talked about food appreciation. Let's talk about mealtime traditions. Mealtime traditions. We are in an era, when I was growing up, we used to eat together in the family. But you see, we are now in an era where, everybody is busy. By the time dad is coming back, it is, we have to go back to these traditions where we used to eat together with these children. Where we used to eat together with these children, like family time. Let's make it a tradition. And family time should not be time where you rebuke the child. You, today, I told you to do this. You did not do that. Now you're happy. See, now you're eating the food. You are doing this. But I told you, when I told you to come. No. Family time should be characterized by bonding. It should be characterized by kindness. It should be characterized by communion. Communion. That is what, when they remember food, family meal time, they should think about it, and then they should look forward to it. I remember my foster mom of blessed memory. Every Wednesday in their family was family. Even if we don't eat together any other day, you see that Wednesday, we will do service, and that Wednesday must always be rice. We will eat rice. We will do service. We will talk. If there are books that they've given us to read, we'll discuss the books. We'll share. We'll gist. It was always a beautiful time. We had Zobo drink. There must be a drink. So, what family meal tradition are we creating for these children? Is it that everybody now eats? In fact, is the kind of family we are we are building now? Is it the kind of family that one person is eating spaghetti, another person is eating beans, another person is eating eba? Let's eat together. You might not have all the time to be eating together every day, but you might pick a day where you eat together. See, have you noticed that when your children are eating and they're enjoying that dish, right? They begin to tell you what happened in school. They begin to tell you, Mommy, one of my friends, in fact, some days ago we were eating, and my daughter told me, Mommy, my friend, she mentioned the person's name in my class. Okay, no, it was my son that said it. That I said, no, you don't tell people that their food looks yucky, or you don't tell people that their food looks disgusting. No, that's not right. That's not a good thing to say. I'm like, Mommy, but the other day, the day you gave me so and so dish to school, somebody said this, that is. I was like, oh, I said no. I said, hope you are not joining them to call people's foods disgusting. Don't say that. For the fact that somebody does not like, the point I'm just trying to make is, when they are eating and they are enjoying, you guys are eating together, you hear all sorts of things. They will give you information that DSS does not have. Your children will just be talking. Their mouth will, I'm not saying that, you should encourage them to talk during mealtime, but sometimes just listen to them. When it is getting to, you can say, oh, okay, no, 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 no. Oh, yeah, concentrate on your food. But the truth is, during mealtime, family mealtime, you will hear different kinds of gists from your children.
Right.
What happened in school? What their teacher said? Mommy, this. Then they will ask questions about the food. Oh, this carrot, can't you do this? And those are things that happen during mealtime. So mealtime should be characterized by bonding, by communion, by love. In other parts of the world, we have Thanksgiving. Some people observe Thanksgiving, right? In other parts of the world. So I know what Thanksgiving is characterized by. Probably they share gifts, they eat together, they are grateful to God. We can create such memories for our children during mealtime. We are now in an age where Easter self is not looking like a normal day. Like Easter now, what's happening? Nothing. So let's create memorable meal traditions for our family. Now, the last one I'm going to be talking about is food preparation. I can stay on this point till tomorrow. See, you know that, as mothers or as parents, especially mothers, when it comes to food preparation, let's not deceive ourselves. Let's forget about all this wokeness flying up and down on social media, where you hear people saying stuff like, I don't cook and I've not died. You are a woman, you are a mother, right? And you're saying you are proud to come out and say you don't cook. It is poverty. Is it compulsory for you to cook? In this age where we are teaching people how to imbibe how to have good culinary skills. Apart from anything, it is a life-saving skill. It is an essential skill. And then somebody is coming on social media and then you are trying to buy it or buy that idea. Please don't. See, if some people know what they are ordering, if they know what they are ordering, it's just to make a phone call and call my this thing, they're going to prepare my dish, or this, or fine, you can have, well, some of them might have cooks in their houses. Good. Right? Good. But see, even if you have the money and you have cook and you have everything, that you don't know how to cook, it is a survival skill. Your children might find themselves somewhere tomorrow and they need to cook. They need to eat. Will you now say, oh, okay, hunger should just kill the child? It is a survival skill. Let's leave this wokeness, right? You are in the kitchen, you are preparing food. Even if you are not the one who is preparing the food, probably you have cooks in your house, you have help. Allow these children participate. Allow children participate in food preparation. I know that, sometimes you feel like, oh, you're so scared. Oh, no, you guys, don't come into the kitchen. No, don't run. This place there's so many hot things here. They will not learn that way. My daughter is 4. And each time I hear her say, I want to be a chef like my mommy, she comes into the kitchen, she sees me cooking. I want to be, initially I'll tell them, please, people should excuse me. I want to concentrate on it. But I told myself, no, you're not helping these children, no. If they come to the kitchen and say, mommy, I want to help you, even if it's plantain, give them to peel. If it is garlic, tell them, let them be on it and be peeling it. Because the truth is, by the time you keep pushing them away, they will just abandon that interest. They will trash that interest in cooking. Let them participate. Let them be a part of food preparation in the home. The boys are not excluded. See, my mom has 5 children, right? 2 boys. I can tell you today, as I'm sitting down here speaking, my younger brother is in the kitchen. He's in the kitchen. I can leave my kitchen to my younger brother to cook. He might not like cooking. Many men do not like cooking, right? But you see, they should know how to cook. They should not be left out. Don't say, oh, kitchen is a woman's business. Who says? Many Nigerians who are relocating now are saying that, see, that mindset, it looks like it is just, in this part of the world, where you think that it's a woman that should be in the kitchen from morning to night. In other parts of the world, men enter into the kitchen and assist, especially when the women are not around. You don't want them to come and catch you and say you are enslaving your wife. Everybody must participate. And I don't think that we should wait until, we are going outside the country or going to live outside the country before we begin to see these things are just important. My husband knows how to cook, and I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to every time I tell his mom, mommy, thank you so much. Or you brought up a fantastic son. He might not like to do kitchen runs, but when the need arises, he gets into the kitchen, he prepares breakfast. I'm not feeling fine. My husband enters the kitchen and he cooks. I say it anywhere. He prepares a better yam porridge than I do. My husband taught me how to do ewedu. We did not used to do ewedu in my house when I was growing up, so I did not know how to make it. So when I got married and I was trying to make ewedu, the thing will not draw. I don't know what I used to do. And one day he told me, come, let me show you how to cook it. And he showed me how to prepare ewedu. I prepare ewedu very well now. But imagine that his mom did not teach him, or his parents did not include and that is not just my husband, all his brothers know how to cook. So food preparation, let it be part. Let these children participate in food preparation. Now, under food preparation, allow them into the kitchen to do the work with you. Tell the names of the ingredients. Tell them the names of the ingredients and food you are cooking with. Yes, men are top chefs in the world. Yes. In fact, men are better chefs. We have more chefs, more male chefs than female chefs. Tell them the name of ingredients. Don't say you are cooking and then tell them this is this. Oh, okay. And these days we have children who are very inquisitive. My 6-year-old will be asking me, okay, mommy, so is this how you make beans? I'm like, yes, this is how I make beans. Oh, mommy, so is this how you make this? Yes, this is how I make it. So you put this, you do this, you do this, you do that. So when it comes to food preparation, let them know the names of the ingredients. Let them see these things gradually. Do you know the funny thing? For someone like me, the very first time I cook, right? It was not like my mom stood there with me to see me cooking. And something happened. There was nobody to cook. I had to cook. And what happened was that the whole cooking I'd been seeing my mom do, it had registered in my mind. Nobody was there to tell me, take seasoning cubes, add it now, put salt now. I cooked that dish and it came out nice, and that was my first time. But I had been seeing my mom, and she probably had not even been saying, hey, this is what you should do now, this is this. But I had learned it. So let them be part of the food preparation. Then the last one I'll talk about is recipes. Please document your recipes. We are in the part of the world people do not document recipes. In other parts of the world, you will see grandmas will write their recipes down, and then their grandchildren will run with it and say, this is my grandma's recipe. Document these things. Keep them in your email. Put them in your children's email. Let them see it. When they need it, they will just go there, pick it up, and then they will cook with it, or they will work with it. Right? So document these things. Now, in conclusion, okay, before I even conclude, let me tell you, Z already talked about the Junior Academy. We started last year's August. See, till now, I am still getting testimonials from parents. See, you might not, as a parent, you might not know how to cook so well. It is not everybody. There are things I do not know how to do so well. I might know how to cook so well, but there are things I do not know how to do so well. Right? You can sign your children up for culinary schools. Last year, we had our first cohort for preteen and teenagers. I had children of 9-year-old. We let our ancestors. I had children of 9-year-old, from 9-year-old above, right? And even their parents were amazed at the things that these children did. Day before yesterday, a parent sent me pictures of her daughter. It was her daughter's 12. The girl was part of the first cohort. It was her daughter's 12-year birthday. This girl prepared fried rice for her family. She prepared dishes for her family to eat. On her parents' anniversary, wedding anniversary, which was some months ago, she prepared the different dishes that they did. They did a surprise for their parents. She's just 12. Her mom now goes to work, knowing that she has a daughter who can man the kitchen, with her siblings. The mom is always very happy. Someone sent me another video. Another student's mom sent me a video yesterday. Yesterday was her mom's birthday. She baked a beautiful cake for her mom. I was so proud. I was so impressed. But you know, when they were signing their children up, they were wondering, hey, will these children be able to do it? I was shocked at the energies of these children. I saw hunger. They want to learn. When I say class starts by so time, you see all of them are on by that time. Have you prepped your ingredients? They have prepped their ingredients. They are ready to cook. These children want to do these things. If you are feeling that they are still too young, you are just hiding their light. So in conclusion, how do you make it transgenerational? You have to be intentional. Every person who has spoken on this platform has talked about being an intentional parent. You have to be intentional with these things, with the hygiene. You have to be intentional about how you mirror these things to the children. Now, you have to also insist. Children can be funny. They will say, no, mommy, I'm not doing this. No, daddy, I'm not doing that. I don't want to eat this food. I don't like it. Insist. I remember when I was growing up, I was a child then, I didn't used to like moi moi. When they prepare moi moi for dinner in my house, I will not eat that moi moi, right? Because I felt that it was too soft. I will eat it the next day. One day we prepared moi moi, and then my dad said, you must eat this moi moi today. And I was crying. I was putting the moi moi in my mouth. I was eating it. I was crying. I was eating it. And when I finished eating it, he asked me, he said, did it kill you? I said, no. He said, did you enjoy it? I said, yes. And that was the end. So sometimes you just have to put your foot down. Then sometimes nicely tell them, no, this is yum. In fact, prepare their minds. Once you are cooking the food, you tell them, I'm cooking something very sumptuous. You will like it. And while you're cooking, tell them, come and taste. Come and have a taste. Put it in their hand. They taste it. Sometimes they are looking at the food. They are not liking what they see. But when they taste it, they just fall in love with it. So prepare their minds. Insist that they eat something healthy. Let them know the importance. Let them know the importance. And then lastly, tell them, pass it on to your children. Many times I've had my children say, so mommy, when I grow up and become, my daughter say, mommy, so when I grow up and I'll become a mommy, is this how I'll be cooking for my children? I'll tell her yes. My son will say, mommy, when I grow up and I become an adult too, and I do this, is this how I'll be? I say yes. That's how you will do it. So let them know. So this is how to pass it, help them pass it on from one generation to the other. Be intentional about mirroring these things to them. Insist, put a foot down, right? When they are not wanting to do it, put your foot down. Then, lastly, tell them, let them hear it. That say you have to pass this on to your children. Do this also for your children and teach your children. The opening Bible verse, this is, I'm concluding now. The opening Bible verse I started with in Deuteronomy chapter 6 verse 7 says, this is God telling Moses. Because the truth is, God knew Moses was not going to be there from one generation to the other to pass his laws down to the Israelites. But see, he gave the Israelites an instruction. He said, and thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk to them when thou sittest in thy house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. Keep saying it to them. That is how you pass principles. This is how you pass values from one generation down to another. And this is also how you pass healthy living, health, transgenerational health from one generation down to another. Remember, health is wealth. A good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. Food, good food, healthy food should be part of that inheritance that you are leaving for your children and teaching them, reiterating to them to pass it on to their generation. Thank you so much. That is all. Is there any question? If there's any question, I'll be glad to answer. Let me know if there's any question.
All right. Thank you so much, Mom. We are grateful. Let's show her some love in the house. Thank you so much for the value that you have shared today. Do we have any questions? No questions. Okay. I love the fact that you you brought an education perspective to food. You know, that it's important for us to educate our children about food, not just only about the food of their indigenous food, also
Yes.
food that has to do with even other people's
People's
food.
food.
You know, I think that's intelligent. When you go somewhere, you are comfortable, you know, with the
Yeah.
food that you are eating there. And also the fact that we need to pass down recipes. Pass that recipe. That's also education. Pass that recipe from one generation to the other. I remember that we opened one recipe book that we have stopped using along the line, you know, and I think we need to get back to that. Fantastic. You know, pass that recipe from one
Generation.
one generation to the other generation. I think that's awesome. Okay, so please let's go there and go back home and begin to implement these things. Amazing things that she has shared with us today. We need to involve our children in cooking. Okay,
Mm.
reduce sugar, involve your children. You know, she also talked about the fact that you might be a parent there and you do not really like to cook. Honestly, I cook for survival. I don't like to cook. So when you were saying that, they're good. Keep on calling my case. Keep on calling my case. You called my case a lot. You know, like, well done, well done. Keep on calling my case. You're feeling like a prophet, right? So, okay. So, yes, I don't like to cook, but I cook for survival. I cook, and I cook very
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
it's a survival.
So,
It's a survival that everybody for
yeah.
survival at least. So
Mm-hmm.
imagine that
At
you don't
least,
even know how to cook.
I heard some people, they love kitchen. People like Okwe, people like
Yes.
us. It's survival. Yes, even my sister, my younger sister, she loves kitchen, you know. But me, it's for survival. So it's very important, and that's what I want for my children, and also to support me. I had to take them
Mm.
through. I have boys, but I had to take them through her school, her
Yes.
culinary school. Okay, so these are things that you can do if you're like me, that is honest. Okay, that we don't, it's not that we like kitchen, it's not that we just cook because we love our families and they have to eat.
You don't want them to go hungry.
So I also am very careful. I don't want my children to have that. So I had to enroll them, you know, to her school, and it has been amazing. All right. So thank you again, Ma,
Thank you so much.
for coming in. We
It's a
really
pleasure.
appreciate. Yeah. I also wanted to ask, are there creative ways that we can, because that's also another thing for me, you know, sugar. For me, I have a sweet tooth, right? So, are there ways that we can make it more exciting? You know, it's not easy to tell a child when you say you allow her to drink pap without sugar. I'm like, oh my God,
Yes, she
oh
takes
my
pap
God,
now, but
I can't do
yes,
that.
no,
Oh
she takes
Lord.
pap without sugar, but the pap is not going to be plain. It's not going to be
Eh,
plain pap.
okay,
So there is
yeah,
going to be milk, of course, to add nutrients. There's going to be
okay,
milk in the pap. Yes, then I could add a little Milo to the pap. So, but it's not going to be that sweet. Like, do you understand that? You know that
okay,
sweet. And as much as possible, I'm intentionally not putting sugar because I know that some people will put milk, they will put Milo, they will still add sugar to
yeah,
their pap.
yeah. Make
Yeah,
it
yeah.
tasty.
You are the chair lady of the group. So, but I'm intentional. I don't want her to have that. I'm trying to train her taste, but not to have that overly sweet taste when she takes pap. She loves
Mm,
cornflakes a lot. She loves cornflakes a lot. I don't put sugar. I just put milk in her cornflakes, and she eats it like that, and she enjoys it. So I have trained her taste bud not to be putting sugar in cornflakes for her. So, but there are ways you can make it more exciting. Dates.
Mm,
Priscilla sells date powder. Yes, there's sugar in milk and Milo, but I'm saying that some people will still put Milo, they will put milk, they will not still add sugar so that the thing will be sweet like ice cream. I intentionally do not want her to have that level of sugar. I intentionally don't want to train her taste buds to have that level of sugar. No. So now there are ways you can. Priscilla says exactly. I was gonna say that you can put bananas in the pap. Yes, you can also put dates. Date
okay.
powder. Date is a natural sweetener. Honey is a natural sweetener too. You can also add that in the pap. Dates is fantastic. And another thing is you can untrain your taste buds. You can just put milk. You know, when you put just milk in your pap, it will still be sweet a bit, but it will not be that sweet. So you can still train.
Okay.
Yes, some people add tiger nut milk. Some people put just natural stuff to their pap. They don't want it to be that, white sugar and overly sweet. So that's
Okay,
it.
so fantastic. Thank you so much. That's the reason why you are telling us about transgenerational health.
Yeah.
Sometimes some like me, I picked this from growing up, right? Sweet tooth. And
Hmm.
that's the truth. And somehow you pass it down to your children, whether you like it or
Yes.
not, except you are
Yes.
very, very intentional about it. Because once I put something in my mouth, I'm like, oh, this is not sweet. They won't like it. That just automatically what
That's
will
what
become
you
going to
feel.
be like.
Yes.
Yeah, they won't like it. It's not tasting nice, and all of that. So thank you so much, Ma. Thank you. We have learned and we will go ahead and
So please, before
implement.
we go, let me just say one thing before we go, please. Just like Z has just said, I just thought to say that. See, if it's possible you grew up from a family where you know you had sweet things and all of that. Now there is knowledge. You know that it is not totally okay, right? So one thing you can start doing for your children, in order not to, like we said, we actually train the taste buds of our children. That's the truth. You can start from when they are children, like babies,
Mm-hmm.
small, really very small. You make pap for them. You make sure that pap is not so super sweet, such that when they grow up and then there's so much sugar, or there's sugar even in pap, they'll tell you, "Ah, it's too sweet. I can't take it. I can't take it." When they are still little, your soups, your dishes, you prepare it, put it in their mouth, let them eat. You catch them young. The Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go. When he is old, he will not depart from it.
Thank you so very much, Ma.
Thank
God
you for
bless
having
you.
me. Amen.
Yeah, and
Amen.
see you all tomorrow. Yours truly will be up at 10. I will be speaking at 10 o'clock tomorrow, 10 to 11. And then we have Miss Teda Omogo at 11 to 12. Please be there. Be there. Be there. Make sure you wake up early and do everything you need to do so that you can join me live. I'll really appreciate that. All right. Good night and God bless you.